打撃内容に確かな成長があると評価。若手の台頭がチーム全体の厚みを支えていることを強調した。一方、メッツ側の分析番組では、今のドジャースは投打ともに隙がないと警戒感が強まり、不況にあるチーム状況との対比が浮き彫りとなった。試合では山本由伸が圧巻の投球を披露。初回の被弾後も修正し、スプリットを軸に連続三振を奪うなど主導権を掌握。現地解説者からは、歴史的投手に並ぶ存在と称賛の声が上がった。さらに大谷翔平も打席で存在感を発揮し、攻撃面で流れを引き寄せる役割を担った。番組ではこの後、専門家による詳細分析、ロバーツ監督のインタビュー、そして山本と大谷のハイライト映像が紹介される予定だ。ぜひ最後までご覧いただきたい。
Dave, when we look at Andy Pages, the numbers don't lie. He's essentially best in baseball when it comes to all of the metrics offensively. But what tells you that this is not a hot start for him, that this is something that he's going to be able to maintain over the course of the season?
Yeah, I just think that the way he's going about it, there's consistency of work. His demeanor is consistent, which he's always kind of like that. I like the internal, the inside. I think that he's swinging at the right pitches. The plate discipline's gotten a lot better. The quality of contact better. Ability to hit to all fields is real. And so I think that, like I said last night, he's not going to hit 400, but I do think that the production of what he's doing, I think there's some consistencies there.
It's a perfect example of that when he had that 4 strikeout game in Toronto, but was able to turn the page quickly in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think certainly with young players, sometimes they tend to spiral as the game speeds up. One bad game turns into 4 bad games, and he was able to right the ship pretty quickly and just kind of stay to the fundamentals and basics, and got a big hit that next day and just kind of went from there.
Dave, you talked about keeping Andy lower in the lineup just partly because of the way that he's been pitched, and obviously he's going to have to go up a little bit with Mookie out, but do you think you're going to keep him around the bottom half of the lineup regardless?
Not regardless. I do like having things bleed to him as far as the game comes and he's getting some RBI opportunities with guys in front of him. Then there's the other argument to having your better hitters take the most at bats, right? So I think that kind of the way I'm seeing it right now, he's still going to be in the middle to the bottom, but it could change. I'm not beholden to anything right for the long term. But at the end of the day, he's probably getting 4 at bats a night, regardless of where I hit him, outside of 1, 2, or 3. And I also think that his production has been enhanced because he's where he's hitting and the guys that are hitting in front of him.
Got anything new on Mookie?
Not really. He's moving well. I see him throwing, stretching out a little bit. I'm not sure when he's going to start swinging the bat. But from talking to him, he doesn't feel any symptoms. He's not symptomatic, so that's a good thing.
Is that the biggest hurdle to clear, especially with the oblique? How much you kind of have to rotate when you are swinging?
It is. Yeah, the swinging, there's still cause of trying to figure out how we ended up doing it. So the running part of it, he's run, and I've seen that. That looks good. I think the oblique is something where it's good until it's not. So you want to make sure that you're really mindful of the process to get back to build up.
Because it's so early in the season, are you, being more intentional with him and telling him that, take your time with this, no need to rush back or anything?
Yeah, we are. But also he's had experience with this in 18 where he never really fully came back. There's been some other injuries that he's dealt with that lingered. So I think that that's part of just getting more mature and just making sure that you have some viable options. And he's not of much benefit if he's not the Mookie Betts that we know. So that's why, encouraging him to take his time.
Or needing a rehab assignment once it gets to that point, I guess?
Fair question. I think that'd be hard to answer right now because we don't know how long he's going to be out for. But I know that there's sim game opportunities, and he's probably not one that loves, going to a rehab assignment. So we'll put a pin in that one.
If he's symptom free, what's holding him back from swinging and stuff?
I think that he's still doing like rotational stuff in the weight room, but then I think there's just a build-up process before he picks up a bat, I guess.
Dave, some people are calling this series the $1 billion series and the most expensive series in MLB history. Can you speak on the Mets spending in the past couple of seasons and just how they've been one of the few teams to rival the Dodgers in terms of reinvesting into their roster?
Yeah, they got a good roster. They got a really good roster. They got really good players. And, losing Soto obviously is a big blow to them. And hopefully we can keep these guys down while they're not swinging well. This guy, McClain, is a homegrown guy, very talented. But yeah, I mean, it's a high-priced, it's a big city, big market, and they got a lot of good players.
Brock Stewart starting a rehab assignment. What's kind of the plan for him as he gets going?
Yeah, I think once he starts, he's got 20 days. So he's throwing today, I think, in Ontario. So you're looking at sort of spring training and how many outings that a reliever takes. So I think that the 3 weeks is probably what it's going to take.
Do you feel that, those 3 weeks, does that maybe create any competition with the bullpen up here as he gets closer eventually to returning and you think about how to get him back?
When it gets closer, that'll certainly be a conversation. I hope we have that. That means that everyone's healthy. And then it'll be, hopefully it's a tough conversation. But yeah, we expect him back and expect him to be good. But, with him being out, with other guys being out, it's a good opportunity to see some guys. And I'm happy Kyle Hurt's here and obviously get a longer look at Edgardo and guys like that.
Any results on his MRI?
You know what? I don't know. I know he had an MRI. I'm not sure.
Quickly to go back to Andy Pajes, we've talked so much about his relationship with Teoscar Hernandez, but really how Teo is the mentor to the mentee. How do you see that relationship, though, just go back and forth and how they really push each other?
It's certainly a big brother, little brother relationship. Andy, Teo really took him under his wing early, showed him the ropes, and Andy leaned on him a lot. There's certainly a lot of banter with both those guys. Andy's giving it out a lot more these days, which is good to see. But Andy also, I think that he's starting to really become his own man, and that's a next graduating point for a big league ball player. To be able to spread your wings a little bit, find yourself, and he's got relations with a lot of players, and not just Teo. But Teo is his guy, which is great. But I do see Andy having other conversations with guys and talking to the hitting guys down there without Teo, and so he's starting to kind of have his own mind, which is a cool thing too.
Were you the adjudicator down here when they both came up talking after the fly ball the other night?
Yeah, that's funny until it's not funny. So he's got to take charge out there and make sure that the off outfielder hears him. But we have fun with that. But I'm glad the play was made.
How's Shorty?
I think he's doing okay. Obviously, he's in the lineup today. I'm sure he's going to go out there and play catch today. But I haven't heard anything, so my expectation is he's going to be fine to pitch.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yep.
On the Dodgers series, on the Dodgers front, my coming back down to earth, since we have 3 more minutes, of 2 things to say. Number one, if the Mets were going to take a game of this series, last night certainly felt like the good one to take, considering you had their, 4th, 5th starter, Justin Robleski, out there. He's got like a 4 ERA. That was the guy that you could hit against because, for instance, tonight, if you're the Mets and you're trying to get yourself out of a 6-game slump, well, you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto taking the mound against you. Now, the positive thing is Nolan McLean's pitching for you, so hopefully that goes well. And then tomorrow you have Shohei Ohtani. So if you're the Mets and you're staring down not having an 8-game losing streak, I would say your odds there aren't so high. Last night was the night to hit, and they still could not.
They could not. Again, the problems on this team are a little endless right now.
Existential.
And again, we went on another podcast a few days ago where I was kind of talking about this idea that we have circled back to on this podcast a couple times, which is that when one thing goes, it feels like at least in the beginning of the season for the Mets, when one thing goes right, you know what I mean? They'll score 10 runs, but the other team scores 11 because the pitching is bad. Or Nolan McLean will go out there and the other team scores 1 run, but the Mets score 0. That's actually a real life example of something that happened the other day. It might not have been McLean, but it happened. But now we're actually kind of hitting a real, like almost like a spookier point, which is not that, oh, there's just one problem. Like the problem changes every single night, or there's multiple problems happening at the same time. Not good.
The Mets monsoon. Today, for our last 1%, because we have 1 more minute, I would like to highlight, and our Dodgers fans, I'm sure, are going to hate me for this. So please, all keep me in your hearts after 1%. I say this. Last 1%. Yesterday, when the Mets arrived at Dodger Stadium, there was a video playing. The Dodgers were playing a hype video to showcase that they snatched good friend Edwin Diaz from the Mets. Now, not only, all right, play whatever video you want, do whatever you want in your home ballpark. Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, in the video says, and I quote, "There's a reason Edwin Diaz wanted to come here. He's chasing a ring." It gets to a point. You've already won. It's like that meme that's like, stop it, he's dead. He's already dead. We're already dead, all right? You already took Edwin Diaz. You beat us in 2024. You won the World Series last year. This year you're 12-4 and we're 7 and whatever the hell, 10. We get it, okay? Like, we get it on Edwin Diaz. You didn't have to play the video. Was the video necessary? Come on. Even if you're a Dodgers fan, was the video necessary? I'm losing it a little.
The video was a lot. I can't lie, the video. And honestly, I'm not one to normally, but come on.
Video was a little bit.
Video was a little bit. But honestly, as far as what
He's
Robert
right.
said, I was going to say, come on.
No, he's right.
You're a New Yorker. Don't come on here and tell me that wasn't the truth.
No, it was the truth.
I mean,
it doesn't mean I'm not upset about
remember when we were grasping for straws? It was a money thing. It wasn't, no. Not weather and not.
Although Diaz did have some quote yesterday where he said it was the Dodgers told him they could turn him into like a Hall of Fame player. Like he would go to Cooperstown if he went to the Dodgers. I mean, him and his like 6 ERA he has right now, that might beg to differ, but I don't, that's his business.
And we'll see you all.
Later.
When the next big thing happens. Bye.
And had 2 complete games in the postseason. Nobody does that anymore. They used to do it back in 1920 when Stan Kovaleski pitched for the Indians and beat the Brooklyn Dodgers 3 times. Harry Burkeen with the Cardinals in 46 beat the Red Sox 3 times. Lou Burdett for the Braves against the Yankees. Bob Gibson against the Red Sox. Mickey Lolich against the Cardinals. Randy Johnson against the Yankees. And then Yamamoto last year got 3 wins, including that Game 7 win in relief.
Well, there's been so many great pitchers that have just had amazing World Series. Remember, Koufax pitched on 2 days rest. 67 is one I remember, but I didn't remember 68 more when he struck out 17. Mickey Lolich was the guy that he might not have looked like a great athlete, but he was a great pitcher with those 3 complete games. And poor Hershiser, who was so good in 1988, not only during the regular season when he had 60 consecutive scoreless innings, but of course in the post, and 10 innings by Jack Morris on a historical night.
Maybe the best pitched Game 7 ever with Morris and John Smoltz. And of course, Mariano Rivera with his continued excellence across all the World Series that he pitched in. He was spectacular. And Madison Bumgarner came closest to doing what Yamamoto did last year.
Yeah, he's really set the trend where you'll start a couple times in the series and then be available if needed later in the series. And he's the reason the Giants won the 2014 series against the Kansas City Royals.
Is there one of those World Series performances that stands out to you?
I remember coming home as an 8-year-old and watching Bob Gibson against the Detroit Tigers and striking out 17 in a day game. And he had such flair. It was like watching ballet over and over, striking out some of the best hitters in the American League.
2 balls and a strike. Yamamoto comes back home and splitter's fouled off 2-2.
You know, if there are billboards all over that city, Andy Pages, come watch him play, right?
Starting the MVP campaign for him. Splitter dives under the swing and gives him his first strikeout of the night. That would be the one to do it. Splitter has been his best pitch.
So tough against the left-handed hitters as well, just because that thing's usually running away. There's some
Kicks and throws and strikes him out. Another one for Yamamoto, who's retired in a row since the leadoff home run from Lindor. Yamamoto's 2-2 is right there for strike 3. Splitter gives him his third in a row.
just fooled him. Couldn't pull the trigger. Wasn't a great located pitch, but certainly surprised Simeon.
He struck him out with a cutter. Digging deep into that arsenal. And has retired 9 straight since the leadoff shot. Struck him out. Yamamoto keeps on rolling. Nothing doing since the leadoff home run from Lindor. And halfway home in a 1-1 game.
今回も最後までご視聴いただき本当にありがとうございました。動画の内容を楽しんでいただけたでしょうか。もしよろしければチャンネル登録と高評価をお願いいたします。皆さんの応援が今後の動画制作の大きな励みになります。それではまた次回の動画でお会いしましょう。